What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. You click it, you become a member. All you got to do is try, recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to, so click the link. Now, with that being said, we're here today to review Studio 666. So, yes, I went to go see this movie today. Yes, it's a Dave Grohl movie. He's frontman for the Foo Fighters and many other musical acts. But he decided to make a movie. And, watching the trailer, I kind of was like skeptical about it because I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. But I usually not really a big like horror comedy dude. But I was like, the genre has recently grown on me. And the reason that it's grown on me is because I've grown to appreciate that what it represents. And most of the horror comedy is just like an homage to like the 80s cheesy, tropey movies that we all kind of came to love and enjoy. This movie is no different. This movie is basically about the Foo Fighters coming together, trying to create their 10th album, and they stumble across this home where they decide to record, and they love the acoustics or something about this house that just drew them there. But it turns out that it's some sort of evil entity that wants them to fulfill some sort of dark prophecy. When you hear the damn plot, it sounds like but the movie and the plot itself is the acting in itself is but at the same time, it's like you have to appreciate it because, like I said, this is a freaking love letter to the 80s. Most of the group, most of the band, they're fucking terrible actors because they're not really actors, But again, this is an homage to the 80s, man. This is an homage to the genre, kind of like the spoofy, cheesy nature of these films. And they go all the way in, they go with all the tropes. They go with the cheesy dialogue. They go with the it's just full-fledged mozzarella, gorgonzola, Gouda cheese. Like, the movie is cheesy as hell, but it's so much fun. Like when you're watching it, this movie has a shit ton of practical effects, a lot of practical effects. John Carpenter is helping out on a film score. Like, really, you have some really great cameos from some really heavy hitting musicians. It's not much you can't ask for. Like, this movie has a little bit of everything, Like, again, the story isn't so amazing. It's not the greatest thing you've ever heard in your life. It's not the greatest thing that you've ever seen in your life. But at the same time, it's just one of those movies that you sit down and you just enjoy it for what it is. Film score in the movie is absolutely amazing. Even though all the jokes don't hit, because it takes a certain type of humor in order to enjoy these types of movies. To some people, the humor might come off as like a little bit forced, a little bit dumb, which it kind of is. But at the same time, it's like if you go into this expecting a little bit more than what it really is, then you're going to be disappointed. But if you saw the trailer like I saw the trailer, then you should kind of see what this movie has in store for you. It's just a cheesy, campy, bullshit kind of movie, But like I said earlier, the practical effects in the movie were like freaking magnificent. There is some CGI that looks bad, but it strangely and oddly goes with the aura and the vibe of the movie. Like, this movie feels like an 80s campy movie, so the bad CGI kind of goes with it. It kind of feels like it's bad CGI, from the early 90s or something like that. As I mentioned earlier, John Carpenter's on the score. He does a freaking amazing job. I would love to get a vinyl press of this soundtrack, man. The soundtrack is freaking phenomenal. Like I said, the acting in the movie isn't like top notch. It's not something that's going to win them an Oscar. Dave Grohl and his bandmates, they just wing it. You could tell like 95% of the time they're just having fun. One particular bandmate smiles are fucking ridiculous a lot in this movie, and you could tell like he has, I don't know if that's just what they told him to do, or it's just that the fact that he has no kind of acting experience, so he just kind of is laughing because he knows he's like in a movie. So watching him, like, it's supposed to be like a serious scene, and he's grinning from ear to ear. It's just, I don't know, it's just funny, like, it's campy. But again, like I was wondering if Tom Savini was involved in this in any way because the the practical effects are dope, bro. I can't like they're dope. Like you have like again you have freaking dope ass cameos, man. The dope cameos from musicians. You're gonna pop for it. The music is great. The music that they're trying to create for their album, that music is great. Like I said, man, the movie's a lot of fun. Don't take it too seriously. Don't look too deep into it, and it's an enjoyable ride. It's not something that I would put high on like a recommendation list, but it's definitely something like where it's like if you're bored on a Friday night and you just kind of want to go to the movies, I definitely recommend going to see this. This is one of those feel good fun ride movies. So here in the Cinema Chop Shop, we grade movies in 3 ways. Count them 3 ways. Either you get bodied and sent to the bowels of hell, and I say your movie was trash, or I tell you your movie is meh, which means it's Masamenos, mid-range, mid-grade, all that bullshit. Or I tell you that your movie is spared, and it means it's awesome. You guys should go check it out. It's a lot of fun. And today I am going to spare this movie.
He ain't earned the death. He ain't earned the death at my hands. God's only man, spared by the butcher.
Yeah, you heard it, folks. I'm going to spare this movie. I mean, look, on paper, in the trailer, you watch it, this movie looks like a freaking recipe for disaster. But if you look at it for what it is, it's just campy, cheesy fun. Like, you got to just watch it and enjoy it. And for those of you that like those type of films, those campy movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Idle Hands. This movie screams Idle Hands, by the way, all the way through. Idle Hands, most of the Sleepaway Camp sequels, some of the later Nightmare on Elm Street movies, like, those are just campy, cheesy, stupid movies that we all ended up loving and enjoying. This is just another one of those, but it was done on purpose. The other movies were probably like really trying to be serious and they just came out with a cheesy dud. This movie just knows exactly what it is and it's just having fun. So go into the movie, have some fun, especially if you're a fan of the Foo Fighters or any other music. I would definitely recommend going to see this. If you have any sort of knowledge of rock and roll bands or musicians, I would recommend going to see this. It's a lot of fun, man. Go check it out. Stop bullshitting, man. Studio 666, go check it out, man. And you're now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys are having a magnificent day. Adios, homies.